Okay, welcome back, IT9. Today we're going to do tidy up the last little bit of our image swapping routine, and it looks a bit like this. Remember, what we want is we want our tiles to be able to swap back and forth when we click on them. So let's run the program here. This is our empty tile. When we click here, we want it to slide into the empty tile position, and then the empty tile obviously slides into that position. And what we created yesterday was the code for the actual swapping of the images, and that looks a bit like this. Remember, we talked about the buckets of water and the bucket of oil and how we take one and put it into an empty bucket and so on. So this code here, called swap tiles, it's the name for this entire block of code called a function, deals with the swapping of those images. What we need to do now is we need to get that swap tile code, and we need to figure out a way to call it up whenever we click on a tile in our game. And so what I'd like you to do is to create a tile click event, and it's going to look like this. Well, there's the code. Mine's already created. What I want you to do, though, is to go back to your form and double click on any one of your picture boxes, and it'll pull up something that looks similar to this. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to change the name of this from whatever tile it was you clicked. Yours probably said something like tile1 underscore click. Just change it to tile click so it looks like that, and then at the very end of this you will see the word handles right there. Now I've moved mine down. You don't have to have yours like this with the underscores. I moved mine down just so you could read it. You can put yours all across here in one line, but what I'd like you to put after that, you have the word handles, and yours probably says this part right here, handles tile1.click. Just at the end of that, put a comma and then a tile2.click and a comma and a tile3.click and so on until you get all the way down to tile 9. You don't need these underscores, nor do you have to have yours stacked up like mine on different lines. You can have yours all the way across on one line. I just had mine set up like this so you could read it easier. Alright, so what this means in Visual Basic mumbo jumbo is it means instead of just handling one button click event, which is what we've been used to in this class, this now will handle all of those button click events or picture box click events. So now whenever the user clicks on any one of these, it doesn't matter what one they click on, it's going to pop into this code. This is the part that's going to handle the event for all of those. So, but that being said, we don't want to treat them all the same because they are in fact different buttons. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a local button or a local picture box right here using this line of code. So it just starts with the keyword dim, tile clicked as new picture box. And what we're doing is we're going to create a temporary picture box that when the user's clicked on a button, any one of those 9, the one they actually click on gets stored in here. Okay, so you have the second line of code is tile clicked equals sender. So if they've clicked on tile 1 gets sent into tile clicked. If they clicked on tile 2 gets put in here. If they clicked on 3 and so on all the way down to 9. Doesn't matter which one of these they click on, it will get stored in this little picture box, local picture box that we've created in the code. So all of its values get stored there. Its .tag value, its name, its size, and all that mumbo jumbo. The swapping routine looks a bit like this. I've broken mine up into little blocks of code here just to make it easier to read. The part that I've highlighted here deals with whenever they've clicked on tile 1. Now remember, in our game, this is tile 1 up here. When they click on tile 1, I don't want to be able to swap tile 1 with any of these other tiles down here. The only way tile 1 can swap is immediately to its right with tile 2 or immediately below it in tile 4. So we need to set it up so that it won't swap with anything else other than either 2 or 4. So that's what I've done here. And I say, create this thing called an if-else-if structure. And the first thing I'm going to check is I'm going to check this. Remember, tile click stores the one that they actually click on, puts it in there. If the tag value of the key of the button that they click on has a tag value of 1, which means it's button 1, and our empty tile happens to be in position 2. Both of these need to be true in order for us to run the code that's contained inside it. So it has to be clicked on tile 1, and empty tile has to be in tile 2. So if you visualize this, if they've clicked here and the empty tile is here, that's the only time that this is going to be true. You click on anywhere else, do anything else, this isn't going to be true. The only time it will be true is if, like I said, if they've clicked on this one and our empty tile is on this one. Alright, so it works like this. If this is true and this is true, then what we're going to do is we're going to call up that swap tile routine that we created yesterday, and we're going to swap the one they clicked with this tile 2 where the empty tile is. Alright, so again, clicked on 1, empty tiles on 2, swap the one they click with tile 2. This is exactly the same, this next branch. Almost. What it says is, again, if they've clicked on tile 1, but in this case it's asking if our empty tile's in slot 4. If they've clicked on 1 and the empty tile's in 4, that's this situation. That means they click here and the empty tile's there. We want to swap those two. And that's pretty easy to do. Again, swap the one that they clicked with tile 4. So this is the only two possibilities when they click on tile 1. Well, the third possibility would be if they've clicked on tile 1 and the empty tile is not in 2 and it's not in 4. Neither of these conditions. In which case, we don't have any code in there for that because we don't want it to do anything. So this is tile 1 clicked, and both of these lines of code deal with all of that. Now, you notice there's 3 branches when we're dealing with tile 2. And that makes sense. Tile 1 can only go 2 directions. Tile 2 can go 3 directions. It can go left, it can go right, or it can go down. So it can go towards 1, it can go towards 3, or it can go towards 5. Likewise, tile 3, actually, let's put it this way. If it's one of the 4 corner tiles, so this one, this one, this one, or this one, it can only go 2 directions. If it's the ones in the middle on the top or the side, or the bottom, then it can go 3 directions. So this one can go 3 directions, this one can go 3 directions, this one can go 3, and this one can go 3. And the only one tile that can go 4 directions is the one in the middle. So on the structure that we're going to create, this one's going to have 2 branches, this one's going to have 3 branches, this one's going to have 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, and 2. Alright, so again, I'm going to continue on here. I don't have to go through all of these. I'll only go through 2 and then 3 again for you. But let's follow through the logic. If they've clicked on tile 2 and the empty tile's in tile 1, that means they've clicked here, empty tile's there, swap those two. The next branch down says if they've clicked here and the empty tile's here, switch those two. And the last branch says if they've clicked there and the empty tile's down there, switch those two. And you can follow this through logically all the way down. Again, tile 3 only has 2 possible directions. They've clicked 3 and then the empty tile's in 2, or they've clicked 3 and the empty tile's in 6. Just pay attention as you're going through this that the number that's here, obviously I'd like you to chunk these out so that, you know, if you've got your tile click 3 events, you know, kind of together in a little break with a little white space in before and after it. And then make sure that the number here matches, or sorry, my bad, the number here matches the number here, and that the number here matches the number here. And if you follow that pattern all the way through, it'll be fine. And double check to make sure you're sending the right picture boxes to the right spot. I'm going to go back over here and we'll give it a quick test. We'll run our game. And we've set it up now. Again, if I click there, it calls up the swapping routine and tells it to swap those. If I click there, it calls up that swapping routine and tells it to swap those. And so on as we work our way through. That's pretty much all there is to it.